So, is Christian McCaffrey still the best running back in the league? Or what can we say about our favorite running backs? Where do they rank? And why does Flynn have an issue with one of the running backs on Natalie's list? Well, we're going to see if we can answer those questions and many more as we get you ready for our running backs looks. We're going to rank them, and we've got a pretty good list here. It's all coming up here on Fantasy Football Fever, which starts right about now. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Fantasy Football Fever. It is Friday night, July 19th, 2024. Before I say anything else, I would like to give a big happy birthday to my mother. Happy birthday, Mom. Love you. Well, anyway, I've got my buddies with me, of course, as you know. We got John and Tally, our Fantasy League Commissioner down here. And of course, over here, riding the bus or the train or whatever it is, it's
the train.
Riding the train somewhere in the Empire State. It's John Flynn, the host of Hooked on Sports. How you doing?
Yeah.
Hey! I'm doing good, guys. How are you? Good to see you again.
First real NFL game, just under 2 weeks away. The preseason.
All right.
I mean, come on. Is a preseason game really an NFL game?
That's something to get excited about. And that means we're getting close to the real thing.
You're excited for the Hall of Fame game?
Sure, why not?
Really?
It's real football.
Well, it's NFL football. I mean, yeah, it's preseason, but it's NFL.
I know, but the real action starts in less than 50 days when the Ravens take on the Chiefs on opening night.
That's right. That's going to be a good one, a good kickoff game.
Williams might play. We'll see.
I didn't think I'd have a bigger issue with anything other than some of your rankings, but here we are. Started talking about the Hall of Fame game, being excited about the Hall of Fame game.
Hey, it could be the debut of Kyren Williams. Who knows?
So they're gonna put them in bubble wrap, and the Bears probably gonna be starting their backup or third string quarterback because when the Jets and the Browns played last year in the Hall of Fame game, Aaron Rodgers and Deshaun Watson did not play. So,
right, that is true.
I mean, obviously, as barring injury, that Kyren Williams will get reps in a preseason game or two, but
yep, we're just not too far away from the start of the preseason. Of course, we're not too far away from our draft night on August 30th.
6 weeks from tonight.
Mm-hmm.
6 short weeks. Oh my goodness, I cannot wait. Well, anyway, we gotta get into some hot topics here that have happened in the recent weeks. Well, it looks like the star wide receiver for the 49ers, Brandon Ayuk, he requested a trade earlier this week. So the question is, if he is traded, what could the 49ers get back and where would be a good landing spot for him? So, Flynn, what's on your mind about this?
I mean, there was some hot and heavy buzz about Brandon Ayuk wanting to join the Washington Commanders at points because he made some subtle hints about it, but the question is Washington really going to want to trade a trade for Ayuk and then Ayuk wants out after a year or two? I mean, I don't know how much it makes sense because because I think the condition is really that if you're going to trade for a true number one wide receiver, which Brandon Ayuk showed when Deebo Samuel was out of occasionally the last couple of years, you're gonna want to get him to get a long term contract extension done. It's like before, like it feels like 4 year, $110 million extension because it's going to be pricey for Brandon Ayuk because if you think of all the extensions that were done, like examples like Devontae Smith and Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson, those guys can be making about $25 to $30 million a year. For the case of Jefferson, more than $30 million on his contract. So I think it's gonna have to be around more than $100 million because in order to get great talent like Ayuk, you're gonna have to overpay and that's the case for all across the league. And it's basically a league of haves and have-nots in this. Now, in terms of what San Francisco can get back, I'm sure so they'll get at least a first round pick back and probably a couple of day 2 draft picks as well. So I think if you're a team that I want to see IU go to be traded to, I think the clear answer is the Buffalo Bills because the Bills haven't really completely replaced the talent and production of Stephon Diggs. But yet they did draft Keon Coleman with 33rd overall pick in the draft. But I think if they can get Brandon Ayuk from San Francisco, I think you need to put the Buffalo Bills to me are back in the Super Bowl conversation. Right now, Buffalo is not on my list of teams that can go to the Super Bowl and win it. It's not Buffalo. I think the Jets on paper are better than the Buffalo Bills in the AFC East. I think if Ayuk goes to Buffalo, becomes the number one wide receiver, and runs down the field, and which is a great match with Josh Allen's incredible arm strength, I think it's going to be a dreamy proposition. And I think and not only with that, you look at Brandon Ayuk being a top 15 wide receiver if he's traded and plays with Josh Allen at the Buffalo Bills come week 1.
I'd say that's a very, very tasty place if Ayuk was to be traded. Buffalo, that sounds very good. Well, we got a couple guys wanted to give a shout out. Johnster, how you doing? He's my big time Philly fan there. So yeah. Yeah, those Eagles. Let me check here. I've got a list here. The Eagles, rookies and veterans will start their training camp next Tuesday, the 23rd. And we got David 3000 over. Is John Flynn on an airplane? No.
No.
Flynn is all right. He's on a bus.
I'm sorry. Have I been insulted for being on an airplane this time after trying to communicate about while being on an airport last time? First of all, that's not the case, and second of all, if I was on an airplane, I would not be connecting in right now because I would want to pay $25 measly dollars for Wi-Fi service for Wi-Fi and internet access. So no and no.
$25, good Lord! Yeah, $25, man. That's robbery.
It is highway robbery feeding into the corporate greedsters. Right.
That would have been funny if you were. Yes, it would, David. It would.
Yeah. So like me flying on Delta, or better known as delivers everyone's luggage to Atlanta.
Good one. I like that. Oh, we got Dashy. Dashy, how you doing, buddy? Zach Ross and Chase Brown could ignite the speed of the run game for the Bengals.
We will get into both of those running backs in a little bit, so you definitely want to keep your thoughts about that.
Yeah, stay tuned for that. Oh, we got another person here. I guess it's supposed to be a new guy here, Jack Bros. Hey, fellas. Hey, Jack, how you doing? Thanks for watching the show. Stick around, you might learn something, buddy. All right. Natalie, you got anything else to add about the Ayuk situation?
Not really. I mean, I don't see him being traded. I personally don't see it happening. There's a 49ers probably, if they trade him, that's going to make them slightly worse. And I don't see them doing that happening.
But remember, they did draft Ricky Pearsall, the wide receiver out of Florida, with their first round pick, and you know what? And when you have a first round pick in Kyle Shanahan's offense, it does a factor. But I think the long term plan for the 49ers is that they have a lot of players who are considered some of the best at their positions, and chances are they're gonna have to replace some of them. So why not get some top 100 picks in future drafts?
If I had to choose a team, I would probably just wing it and say possibly the Colts, given Michael Pittman's injury problems. If it happens again, they might need someone else.
I mean, the Colts are a team that I have not seen on that. The teams I also saw were the Atlanta Falcons. If they do something and pair him up with Drake London, because I think the Falcons' wide receiver room is not particularly strong. I would be very intrigued if he goes to the Chargers, because the Chargers' wide receiver room is not good, and him potentially pairing up with Lad McConkey would be something and with Greg Roman's offense, because he clearly needs the balance, and would give Justin Herbert another weapon after seeing Mike Williams and Keenan Allen depart in the offseason. So I think if it's not the Bills, I think the Chargers make sense. I think I think if they can't extend CeeDee Lamb, the Cowboys would make a lot of sense for Brandon Ayuk for that. But we'll see about that. I think if you are a team like the Pittsburgh Steelers, I think that makes a lot of sense, because I think the Steelers could use a receiver for Russell Wilson or Justin Fields, whoever that quarterback's going to be for the Pittsburgh Steelers come week 1.
Interesting. So, pretty good options there if they decide to trade Ayuk right there. Dashy says, my pick'em tournament has 3 new choices: deck of cards, game of the week. I know you have the deck of cards that has diamonds, hearts, spades, and clubs, trap game of the week, and rivalry of the week. I'll have to get with you on that there, Dashy. Just hit me up sometime and explain that to me. So that's the Ayuk situation. What has been going on in the latest episode of Hard Knocks with the Giants?
Oh my gosh! First of all, this is not an act of production, because the Hard Knocks production is fabulous, and they do such an incredible job, and there's so much detail on it. But it's not a frustration with Hard Knocks, but basically what happens is during last season, the Giants brass went to John Mara, and they wanted to trade Saquon Barkley at the trade deadline. The trade deadline, because they knew they probably weren't going to have room to sign Saquon Barkley because of how porous the roster has been. And John Mara said no, because he wanted to sell jerseys throughout the course of the rest of the season. And then Saquon Barkley leaves in the offseason. He walks, Giants get nothing back, and he signs with the Philadelphia Eagles. And it really made John Mara upset. And look, and the conversations with Joe Shane and Saquon's agent were they tried to be constructive, and basically so Saquon wanted to go with the Giants, and they didn't have room on the roster, so he went to Philly. And now, if you look at what the Philadelphia Eagles are doing with what they were able to sign Saquon Barkley because they have the luxury, because they have a great roster around them. And I'm just so angry right now watching it, because John Mara has no idea what the hell he's doing as the owner of the New York Football Giants. It's like remember when the Giants were debating about whether or not to fire Joe Judge, and basically Steve Tisch had to tell John Mara that the general manager search would be handicapped if Joe Judge was the head coach of the New York Football Giants. I mean, it is so frustrating, and thinking that real change happened with the Giants, with Joe Shane and Brian Daboll coming in to be the general manager and the head coach, and they were the number one choice. The Giants never hired my number one choice for during a head coaching search, and now they're both of them, and they could be on the hot seat this year because of John Mara's ego, and I'm just so mad about that. And look, the Giants going to be a last place team this year with Saquon Barkley. They're going to be a last place team this year without Saquon Barkley. So I thought the Giants nailed. They had an excellent offseason. But I think what's also interesting was that the Giants really wanted to trade up for Drake May. They wanted to trade up for Jaden Daniels. I mean, because knowing that Coach Daves is a Giants is a quarterback whisperer, and he was one of the best play callers in football, one of the best offensive minds in the sport. So he would have turned Drake May and Jaden Daniels into a top 10 quarterback in the NFL, which is something the Giants haven't had, a top 10 quarterback in years. So that was interesting in the month itself, but it has been so frustrating with the Giants. And look, the Giants' record over the last 7 years has not been very distinguished. They had 5 straight seasons of double-digit losses or more. They tied to the worst record of the NFL, and you have John Mara not knowing which way is up, and so he clearly botched the general manager search when he fired Jerry Reese and brought in Dave Gettleman, maybe one of the greatest downgrades in the history of sports, and he let Dave Gettleman draft Saquon Barkley number 2 overall, and that made no sense. I mean, to me, I thought Saquon made sense because best player in the draft, but now in this modern NFL, you don't put as much value on running backs because with the quarterback-centered league, it doesn't make any sense to do that anymore. So I'm very frustrated, and I'm actually terrified this season for the New York Football Giants. Because what if Philly goes on to win the division, plays on Championship Sunday, and the Giants will be a last place team? I think John Mara's ego might prompt him to give Joe Shane and Brian Daboll the pink slip, and then they'll see Joe Shane and Brian Daboll succeed somewhere else away from John Mara. So they're very frustrated watching that from the Giants fan perspective.
Well, Natalia, these are your boys too, so.
I mean, I don't particularly pay attention to the Hard Knock stuff. It's like I think it's just all chatter. I'll let their playing do the talking, basically. For me, it's nothing but chatter. So we'll see.
Yeah, fair enough. But I think what the Giants are trying to say is this:
we couldn't
here.
do diddly poo offensively. We couldn't make a first down. We couldn't run the ball. We didn't try to run the ball. We couldn't complete a pass. We sucked.
I guess to kind of put Flynn's soliloquy in a nutshell. So, yeah. So, it'll be interesting to see if anything, and I mean anything, can happen with those New York Football Giants.
I mean, I will be going to the whole to the Giants home opener week 1 against the Vikings. I will be going to that game, but it's because I went to because that's the one Giants game I picked to go to this season on the heels of last season, hoping that's gonna be better this season than the 24-3 debacle against Seattle last season. So.
All right, so is it there? Other news of interest. I can't think of anything off the top of my head except same old situation over in Dallas. Yeah, still no talks about any contract extensions for Dak Prescott or CeeDee Lamb or Michael Parsons. I was watching ESPN's Get Up this morning right before I went to work. The question was, who is to blame for all of this? Well, the answer is pretty simple. The person to blame is Jerry Jones. It starts at the top, you know. I mean, just like with the Giants situation, it starts at the top of their front office, right?
Right. I mean, it's the ownership trying to meddle into football operations. It never works. I mean, so you think about in basketball with the Knicks, which never worked, and then Jim Dolan spent a lot of time on building the Sphere in Las Vegas, which is owned by his company, and because he was away from that, it allowed the Knicks to actually focus on basketball. Now, the Sphere is complete, and Jim Dolan is back, focusing on the Knicks, and we'll see how it goes now. But ownership interfering, it always fails, and that's the trajectory where both the Giants and the Cowboys are going to go to. And look, I think that the answer should be about whether to extend CD, Micah, or Dak. I think it's going to be pretty obvious after the season. So when Dak Prescott regresses in his performance because of the downgrade in the offensive line. Now the offensive line is not terrible. It's actually above average, but not as stable and secure as it was last season.
Right. Just too much control freaks with the ownership, I guess. So
it's insane. Like maybe model Baltimore, maybe model a team maybe model the Philadelphia Eagles, whose owners don't who they let the football people do the football operations and not interfere in it.
yeah, that's true. That's true. It's just crazy here. So let's see here. What I got here. Oh yes, I do have something to share here. We got, of course, some teams got a training camps that have already opened up. Some of them will be opening up here very soon. We got The Cardinals started on the 23rd, Falcons on the 24th. The Ravens rookies have already reported. The veterans will join in on the 20th. The Bills rookies came in on the 16th. 23rd will be the veterans coming in. The 19th, Panthers, and the veterans will come in on the 23rd. The Bears, everybody is in camp over at
Yeah, and also speaking of the Bears, that the Bears got their rookie contracts done with their two first round picks, Romo Dunze and Caleb Williams. So they were some of the last ones to sign their rookie contracts, but they're signed and they're officially ready to roll.
Oh yes, they are locked in. Dashy, your Bengals, if you're still watching, your Bengals, the rookies will report tomorrow, and then the veterans report on the 23rd. For the Browns, the 22nd is when the rookies will report, and the veterans will report one day after. My Cowboys, rookies and veterans will report on the 24th, which will be next Wednesday. Broncos rookies have already reported. They reported on the 17th. 23rd, and the veterans will come in. Detroit Lions rookies will come in on tomorrow, and the 23rd when the veterans come in. Packers rookies have reported, and the veterans will report on the 21st. The Texans rookies and veterans have already reported. That was on the 17th. So Texans training camp is in full swing there.
So because the teams that play in the Hall of Fame game everyone reports a week earlier than the rest because they're week 0, which is of preseason.
Yeah, that's right. Colts rookies and veterans will report on the 24th. Jaguars rookie players reported earlier today, so they're getting their thing going on while the veterans will report on the 23rd. Chiefs rookies, they reported on the 16th, and the veterans will come in tomorrow. The Raiders on the 21st will have the rookies, and the 23rd, the veterans will come in. The Chargers, the rookies have already reported. They signed in on the 16th, and the 23rd will be the veterans. The 23rd for the Rams, for the veterans, and the rookies for the Los Angeles Rams. The Dolphins rookies have already reported in. That was on the 16th. Veterans will make their way over there on the 23rd. Minnesota Vikings, their rookies come in on the 21st and the veterans 2 days later. The Patriots rookies reported earlier today. The 23rd, where the vets come in. New Orleans Saints, the rookies made their way to camp already. And next week on the 23rd, the Saints veterans will report to camp. Same thing with your New York Giants there. Back on the 16th, the rookie players reported to camp there. Next week on the 23rd, the veterans will join them. For the New York Jets, the rookies reported just yesterday on the 18th. The veterans will come in next Tuesday. Also, next Tuesday, rookies and veterans will report to Eagles training camp. And then on the 24th, the Steelers, rookies and veterans will report to their camps. 49ers, the rookies came in on the 16th. The veterans will come in next Tuesday. Yeah, the 49ers. Yeah, Seahawks. Seahawks rookies reported to training camp on the 17th. Tuesday, the veterans come in. Looks like the veterans come in on the next Tuesday for every single team. Rookies for the Buccaneers will be on the 22nd. Titans on the 23rd, and the Commanders rookies have already reported to training camp. So there is your basically your training camp report about when and where the veterans will report.
Yeah, and I think we're gonna see some big training camp storylines. Like I think the number one storyline is gonna be the Steelers quarterback situation. Who's gonna start there, because they had a tumultuous offseason at the quarterback position. So I think that's gonna be the big storyline. By far number one in the NFL.
Oh yeah. So I guess that does it for our hot topics, unless I missed anything. I don't think I have.
I mean, no, not that big of a deal. But I saw a piece of retirement news today. Kenyon Drake has retired.
I think he played for Miami, and then who did he also play for?
Oh, the name sounds familiar, but can't remember.
Yeah. And I think yesterday Randall Cobb retired.
I did see that. Yes.
Oh, Randall Cobb played a lot of years at Green Bay. Played 1 year with the Cowboys. I think he played 1 year with the Texans before going back to Green Bay.
Yeah.
So
and I think he played 1 year with the Jets with Rodgers.
Yeah, it also says Drake was with Arizona at one point too.
Yeah.
Profile here. He played for the Dolphins, Cardinals, Raiders, Ravens, and Packers. So he played with a lot of teams. He had a pretty short career, 8 seasons. He retired at the age of 30.
Well,
yeah, he's been. I remember. Yeah, one memory I have of Drake. I mean, ESPN is saying the same thing. His 62-yard touchdown on a lateral.
Okay,
Miracle in Miami. Who's best remembered for that?
Oh yes, the Miami Miracle against the Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember that. That was a shocker. But anyway, that does it for the hot topics. Now it's time to get to the main task at hand. We have each made a list of 50, our 50 top running backs going into this year. I kind of thought 50 was a little bit extensive.
Yeah, that was tough. I when 1 through 25, I was able to do pretty quickly. The rest of it was pretty tough. That's why I divided into 2 parts.
But I also think that you're probably going to be drafting 5 running backs in your drafts. Come the draft, so I think you got to expand it a little bit because you never know. There's most likely going to be somebody on that 26 to 50 list that's going to explode this season.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, you never can tell. I mean, some of the lower tier guys may show some good stuff this year. So I decided we're going to start with taking a look at Flynn's list of quarterbacks, the first 25 on his list here.
Yeah, and I think that now that I'm and now that I'm back, I'll be ready to go, and I can start here with my thing. So looking at this, I think Christian McCaffrey's clearly number one on my list. I think it's going to. I think you look at the gap between numbers 1 and 2, which was gigantic last season. I think that's going to be lower a little bit. Brees Hall is number 2 on my list because I think if you look at how incredible he was down the stretch, and he's going to be the clear 3-down back for the Jets, and I think having Aaron Rodgers, I think he'll also is to help out a lot in the passing attack. Bijan Robinson, even though he was down last season, I think having some actual dude, a real coordinator that'll maximize him will be excellent for him. Jonathan Taylor, I like him at number 4. Saquon Barkley, I like him at number 5. I think Jahmyr Gibbs, Travis Etienne, Derrick Henry, I like them where they are. I think Kyren Williams is going to take a bit of a step back this season because I think he's going to have some carries taken away from Blake Corum. Isaiah Pacheco, Alvin Kamara, Mixon, all familiar names in fantasy as RB1 candidates, especially in 12-team leagues. James Cook. I do like Josh Jacobs, even though his schedule is not going to be easy for running back, especially in the middle of the season. But I like him at 14. I think Achane is more of Mike McDaniel's type at the running back position, so I'm going to put him at number 15. Clearly, I see that Raheem Mostert is not a member of the Minnesota Vikings. He's a member of the Miami Dolphins. That was clearly an error on my part. But still, Aaron Jones, number 16. Kenneth Walker Jr. But I'm not really sold on Rachaad White being an RB1. I know there's been a lot of chat about that, but I mean, a season where he has had 3.5 yards per carry. I don't love Rachaad White this season. I don't know why, but so instead of being in that 10 to 13 range, he's down to number 18. James Conner I like at 19. DeAndre Swift 20. Ramondre Stevenson, I don't know why the Patriots gave him that crazy contract, but number 21. Zamir White, I think Zamir White might be high or might wind up being higher on this list at the end of the season because he's going to take on the workload of Josh Jacobs in Oakland and in Vegas. And Vegas' offensive line is still rather decent, even despite the loss of Jermaine Uluminor. Monty is going to be at 23. So Najee Harris at 24. I'm comfortable putting Harris over Warren. Raheem Mostert at number 25, which I tend to like as well. I think you look at
let me get the next one up for you.
Yeah, here we go.
Okay. Yeah, we'll get his second half of the list here up here in a little bit here. There's his bottom 25 right there, starting with Devin Singletary with the New York Football Giants.
Yeah, I'm a little intrigued on why Devin Singletary is lower on some people's lists. Because I think Devin Singletary, he's been a solid running back throughout his entire career. Now, is he going to be a top 20 running back? Chances are probably not. But is there a chance that he could be someone who you start in deep flex leagues? Is it someone who you start in a situation where you where you need somebody because you have your starting running backs on bye week? I think you definitely need to consider that, and with all intents and purposes. So I like Singletary at 26. It feels right. I don't know. He looks like a 3-down back to me this year. Jaylen Warren at number 27. I think he's a little less talent than Najee Harris. I mean, Najee Harris was the first round pick after all, but I do like Jalen Warren at 27. Jonathan Brooks, the first running back taken in the draft this year, Carolina at 28. Tony Pollard at 29. I could have debated between putting Pollard or Spears in there, but I think Pollard's going to get some more attempts this upcoming season. Brian Robinson for Washington at 30, and Austin Eckler, we believe it or not, is all the way down to 35. Because remember all the conversation about Austin Eckler being the consensus number one pick in drafts last season. So that clearly did not work out for Austin Eckler owners last season. Javonte Williams at 31, Zach Moss at 32. I tend to like Zach Moss a little bit for Cincinnati, but I think the fantasy value is going to be a little diminished because I think Cincinnati is going to be running the pass first offense, obviously because of the quarterback and because of the improved offensive line. I do like Zeke Elliott at 33 if he's going to be the primary back for Dallas in an offense where you're going to be throwing the ball a lot. It's the same thing with Zach Moss. Nick Chubb, I think could be a sneaky wild card here at the running back position this year at 34. At 35, I like so Austin Eckler, as I mentioned. Tyjae Spears at 36, I like. So Gus Edwards is going to be splitting some time with J.K. Dobbins, but I think Gus Edwards is going to have more carries this season at 37. At number 38, I do like Chase Brown of the Bengals. I think he stepped up a little bit when and filled in nicely for Joe Mixon. Antonio Gibson is now the number one running is now the number 2 running back for New England. He's at 39 on my list. Jerome Ford is going to be at 40, but I think Jerome Ford is going to be someone who you're probably going to want to start early on because if depending on the potential recovery of Nick Chubb. I do like Charbonnet at 41. Kendrick Miller I like more than most. Blake Corum I like more than most, and Tyler Algier. If Bijan Robinson's actually unleashed as the running back, he is his numbers are going to be lower. Jaleel McLaughlin at 45, Hubbard, Dowdle, Chandler, Trey Benson from Florida State. I thought that was a really solid pickup by Monty Allison Ford and the Arizona Cardinals in the draft. And I'm putting Elijah Mitchell in at number 50 as an insurance policy in case something goes wrong with Christian McCaffrey. So those are my 50.
Well, all righty then. That is Flynn's top 50 running backs right here. We are going to now go to see Natalie's first 25 from his list, and this, of course, this list is well, we were discussing this, and I think it was yesterday or the day before, and Flynn kind of had an issue with one person. We'll get to that pretty soon. So, Natalie, go to it, buddy. I guess we're all in agreement that McCaffrey's number 1, and I guess Hall's number 2. I see you got Travis Etienne Jr. at number 3.
Yeah, this one was kind of interesting to me. Evidently, ESPN and I were on the same page. Look at this. ESPN also ranks Travis Etienne at number 3, which I think makes good sense in the long run here. Because, I'm taking the multiple touchdowns into account. Look at this. He had 1, 2, 3, 4 games with multiple touchdowns. You don't see many other running backs on that list that did that last season.
Right.
And those multiple touchdown games, that happened 3 games in a row. So I had to reward him for that. Week 5 against Buffalo, week 6 against Indy, and week 7 against New Orleans. 2 touchdowns, 3 games in a row. So I had to give him a high reward for that. And I think ESPN did that too.
I see.
Yeah, but I also think the issue is Jacksonville's offensive line. I think is still the weak sauce of this football team, and like
Yeah.
and look, I think I think you look at the primary running backs and I think if Jacksonville is going to win games this year, they're going to have to win it through the right arm of Trevor Lawrence. And you think Trevor Lawrence wants that contract extension?
Hmm.
Yeah, I
So,
put Kyren Williams at 4 because I feel like he's going to have a similar performance to last season. Yeah, Jonathan Taylor, he is coming off of injury, but when he's healthy, he is a top 5. Yeah, Joe Mixon, I was tempted to move down a little, but I didn't quite do it. Yeah, I like Isaiah Pacheco at number 7. He went to the Super Bowl. He had a very solid season. And yeah, Derrick Henry used to be a top 5 running back, but if he wants to maintain that top 5 status again, he has to stay healthy and get those multiple touchdowns per game he used to do.
Yeah. So I have no problem with Isaiah Pacheco as high as 7 because I think especially when you looked at last year when the wide receiver position was not what it needed to be for Kansas City, Isaiah Pacheco's filled in nicely with the volume and I think that's where I think the Chiefs deserve some credit. So because they were able to find a seventh round gem and turn them into a big piece in the championship puzzle the last couple of years. So
yeah. And yeah, Bijan Robinson, I ended up putting at number 9. He wasn't really, but I wouldn't say he was that strong last season. He only had 2 games that was over 100 rushing yards, and he only had let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, only 4 rushing touchdowns playing a full season. So not strong, but if he gets it together, I think he's the top 5. And apparently ESPN also agrees with me. ESPN put him also at number 9.
Bijan Robinson is going to be is going to be gone at the end of the first round in a 12 and possibly 10 team league. And because look, because the teams figured out that if you stop Bijan Robinson, if you key in on stopping him, then you would let the quarterback torpedo the team with unforced errors. But now the Falcons have a real quarterback, and that's going to take attention away from Bijan Robinson because they actually have a quarterback to account for. So that's why I have a kind of different places with Bijan Robinson and Travis Etienne, respectively.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And now, if you think I was harsh at putting Saquon Barkley at number 10, look at where ESPN put Saquon Barkley. I was more generous. ESPN has him ranked at number 13.
Are those numbers from last season? Because that's what I'm getting.
I don't know. I think it doesn't say. So I'm assuming that they're basing it off these stats.
It's definitely based off the 2023 numbers because that's what it feels like because remember Saquon was hurt and then had some excellent games down the stretch.
Yeah, okay, maybe because on here they put Jonathan Taylor at number 33.
Yeah, because Jonathan Taylor was hurt last year, remember? And also, he had the contract.
Yeah, well, I put Barkley at 10 because he only had 1 game with more than 100 rushing yards and not as many touchdowns this time around. He only had 2, 3, 5, 6. So not too terrible, but not great either. But if you want really, really aggressive, let me see. There's a player I'm looking for here.
Yes,
they put
were the
Raheem
final
Mostert
numbers.
at number 5, which I think is super aggressive.
It's not. It's not. But basically, but that was basically. Yeah, I just looked up. Those were last year's final rankings.
Yeah, those were most of some of my rankings came from. I was comparing ESPN to see if we were on the same wavelength.
Yeah, but I think you're looking at the 2024 upcoming season. So, but
So I see you got Rashad White at 13, James Cook 14, and most at 15.
Yeah, I think Rashad White is going to have a regression. I still say the Bucs are overrated. I think they're going to be exposed. They're definitely going to be a last place team this time.
Worse than Carolina?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I have faith in their new running back and their rookie guy. I think Brooks is going to be just fine.
So,
and I'm pretty comfortable with putting Cook in there, and I couldn't overlook Raheem Mostert's monster performance last season, so I had to reward him for that.
Yeah, Josh Jacobs now with Green Bay.
Yeah, I'm fine with him right in the middle. He's with a new team, so it's gonna take time for him to get to form. But he could be a top 10 potentially. We'll see. Maybe top 15.
Maybe, I would think so.
Yeah, Devon Achane, a very nice compliment to Raheem Mostert. I feel comfortable putting the two of them near each other.
About Walker?
Yeah, Walker I think is definitely a top 20, but not a top 10. He's right in that range.
Then over here, you got Aaron Jones, David Montgomery, James Conner, DeAndre Swift, Zamir White, Jonathan Brooks, and Jaylen Warren finishing out your first 25.
Yeah, I wanted to put Jaylen Warren slightly ahead of Najee Harris because I think last season Warren took some carries away from Najee Harris, and I think he's going to do it again.
Interesting. Well, that's his first 25.
Yeah, and I'm back, so I can take over from here.
All righty.
And so now you got 26 to 50 on your lists.
Yeah, Brian Robinson Jr. He's the leader of the second half here. He's a middle of the pack player. He can catch passes too if needed, so he's pretty solid there. I mean, yeah, Zach Moss. I think he's gonna do fairly well. I mean, then Tajay Spears. Yeah, I'm pretty comfortable with him there. Another middle of the pack player. And like I said, Najee Harris. I think he's definitely going to lose some touches to Jaylen Warren, and yeah, I think Warren's going to be ahead of him in touchdowns. Fonte Williams, pretty comfortable there at 30. The Broncos don't really have a good team at all, so I had to use every team at some point. So I just figured I was to stick him in there. Jerome Ford, he's obviously going to play more games than Nick Chubb, so that's why he's ahead there. Yeah, Singletary, 32. Yeah, that was a tough one for me. I had a hard time putting him in the back end of the 20s. I'm a little bit skeptical about him right now, but I'm going to keep an open mind to see how he does. Yeah, Austin Eckler. He's actually I see a little typo there. That's all right, but
yeah. There are a couple of typos on this one.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, no worries. I mean, his status of running back 1 is over. So he's a running back 2 now on most teams, but if he stays healthy, who knows? Maybe number 1 again down the road.
Yeah, and he's number 2 running back now in Washington behind Brian Robinson Jr.
Yeah. Yeah. Tony Pollard, he has to adjust to a new team. And there's plenty of running backs that are better than him, so he has to be on the back end for now. Ezekiel Elliott, he's not the same player he once was. Gus Edwards, not really much to say about him. The Ravens running back situation is kind of wishy-washy. I can't figure out who's the true number 1 there. So that's why I stand with the two of them right near each other.
Baltimore's number 1 running back is Derrick Henry.
Oh, whoops. Wait. Do both these guys play for the Chargers, or is this a typo?
Yeah. No, Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins both left to join the Chargers because Greg Roman was the offensive coordinator, and he was there when both of them were there. So, so both of them are the new Chargers running backs.
Got it. Yeah, but between the two, it was hard for me to figure out which one's going to get the higher priority. So that was more of a coin flip for me. That's like truly 50-50. That's like a true 1A, 1B type of thing there. Yeah, Tyler Algier, he's a solid insurance policy, if anything. I mean, same thing for Zach Charbonnet. Yeah, Antonio Gibson, the veteran. I mean, I don't think he's going to get too many touches, but he has his bright spots here and there. Yes, Chase Brown, he'll be a good complement to Zach Moss. This one's probably a questionable choice. Yeah, Ty Chandler, don't really know what to think of him. We'll see. Yeah, I do like the Trey Benson here in the back. Should James Conner miss any time? Jaleel McLaughlin, I think this was the last team I didn't use yet in this group. Unless I did use a Bronco player previously, I don't remember. Not much to say about him. He's not that good, but I had to add someone. This back end was really difficult. I mean, I don't even know if putting Alexander Mattinson here was a good idea, because I was also considering who was like I think I was considering Khalil Mack. There was a couple of names I was considering. Chuba Hubbard. Should anything happen to the running back, the new guy, he'll step right in. Yeah, should something happen to him, I just include him for insurance policy. Blake Corum, same thing, another insurance policy guy. Rico Dowell, the rookie, we'll see how he does. And then to close out, this was a coin flip, Kendrick Miller. But like I said, I was also considering other names. I was thinking of Khalil Mack at one point. I'm not sure who else I was thinking of, but this back end was really tough to do.
Oh, actually, a little bit of a correction there. I think Dowdle is not. I think Dowdle is going into his third year in the league now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's going to his third year with the Cowboys. So I remember he got in there 3 years ago, and then of course Deuce Vaughn came in last year. So Dowdle could be probably a good third round back, I guess. Kind of like what Tony Pollard was to Zeke Elliott a few years ago. So that's the tallies list right there.
Yep, and now here comes your list, Timmy, and we're gonna start with your number 1.
Well, we are all in agreement. Christian McCaffrey is the top running back in the NFL, until further notice. And Breece Hall is right behind him, and rightfully so. I'm making this bold statement. Bijan Robinson will rush for at least 1,000 yards, and he will do a lot better with the Falcons this year. They're not going to handcuff him so much. Jonathan Taylor, he's coming back from injury. I think he should be okay. Saquon Barkley, he could probably improve the running game in Philly.
Yeah, we're sharing the brain on 1 to 5, Timmy.
Interesting. I see Kyren Williams having a better year. Jameer Gibbs, Isaiah Pacheco, Etienne, and Derrick Henry. That's my top 10 right there. Rashad White at number 11. Alvin Kamara, got him at number 12.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's fair, but I'm kind of hoping he doesn't regress like I think he might. But I mean, he is still a good talent there. Don't get me wrong. James Cook, I got him at 13. Joe Mixon 14. Josh Jacobs, middle of the pack with a new offense, a new team, a new system. So we'll see how he does there. Got Kenneth Walker the third at 16. Devon Achane, number 17. Ramondre Stevenson for the Patriots. I got him at number 18. Jonathan Brooks, 19 for the Panthers here. DeAndre Swift at 20, Aaron Jones 21, James Conner 22. Got Zamir White for the Raiders at 23. David Montgomery, good compliment for Jahmyr Gibbs, probably a third round back. And Brian Robinson rounds out my first 25 there. Then I got Zach Moss at 35. I kind of got Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren kind of together at 27 and 28 respectively. If one kind of falters a little bit, the other one can pick it up a little bit. I think I like that chemistry there.
And also I think the big thing with Pittsburgh, it's going to be a pain in the butt for those who draft Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren is that Arthur Smith is going to try to run the football because I think the Steelers spent the last couple of years reconstructing and reshaping the offensive line. The Steelers feel like that's complete now. I think they're going to try to run the ball down the throats and in the competitive AFC North, you're going to have to be a physical football team. And to be physical, you're going to have to run the ball occasionally, and so it's going to be it's going to be a nightmare if you're going to be doing a week of Najee and not a week of Jaylen Warren. But it's going to be it's going to be anxious seeing what the Steelers are going to do on a week to week basis.
Yeah, yeah, definitely true there. I got Javonte Williams at number 29. Not really big on the Broncos this year. Titans, I got both Tyjae Spears and Tony Pollard stacked together. One could definitely complement the other and vice versa, I got Austin Eckler with the Commanders at number 32. I guess he kind of regressed last year. And unfortunately, I don't know how the situation is with Jaden Daniels, a rookie quarterback who will be commanding that team. And there, Devin Singletary coming over from the Bears, if I'm not mistaken.
This is Devin Singletary started in Buffalo, then played with the Texans last year.
Started with Buffalo, played with the Texans, coming to the Giants. It's going to be kind of hard to fill Saquon Barkley's shoes there, but good luck to Singletary. Zeke Elliott at number 34. I said it before, I'll say it again. I'm still on the fence about Zeke coming back to the Cowboys. What has he got left? Is he going to be the same Zeke that he was in Dallas before he left for that 1 year in New England? I really have no idea. I got Raheem Mostert at 35. I got Gus Edwards 36. Nick Chubb 37. If that offensive line could really do their thing, I could see Nick Chubb getting the little thing. But of course, he has his health issues there.
Because when week one rolls around, it's going to be a little less than a year since he tore his ACL in that Monday night game against the Steelers.
All right, those I'm telling you, those ACLs are killers. They are killers indeed. I got J.K. Dobbins, just a couple of spots down from Edwards with the Chargers. Going to break the bottle open and have a glass of Chardonnay at number 39. I'd say it's right there. Tyler Algier, number 40. Probably maybe a third round back for the Falcons. Ty Chandler, 41 with the Vikings. Gibson with the Patriots at 42. I got Jerome Ford at number 43. If Chubb cannot stay healthy, I could see Jerome Ford moving up a few notches maybe in the weeks to come. Got Chase Brown at 44. And then rounding out, I got Trey Benson from the Cardinals at 45. Blake Corum at 46. Chuba Hubbard, 47. The only way that the Panthers can go this year is up, although I don't know how much up they're going to go. Kendra Miller for the Saints at 49. I got Jaleel McLaughlin at number 49. And actually, I kind of have Marshawn Lloyd coming in at number 50. So hopefully he could be a good compliment to Josh Jacobs there in Green Bay.
Interesting there. Yeah, it looks like we have like 49 out of 50 players in common, essentially. We each picked one different person.
I was taking a look at this list from ESPN. Take a look past number 50. I see they actually ranked Rico Dowdle at number 52. Khalil Herbert at number 53. Also see some other notable names. Clyde Edwards, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. They got him at number 58. I think he kind of became an afterthought after the rise of Isaiah Pacheco. Looking down the list here, Jamal Williams from the Saints at number 63. Kenneth Gainwell for the Eagles. He did pretty good last year. They got him ranked at 66. Chase Edmonds from Tampa Bay. He's at 69. Amir Abdullah from the Raiders. He's at 72.
I think that some notable names. Jamal Williams of the Saints is not on there. Miles Sanders is the third string running back for the Panthers. And he's getting paid $10 million a year by the Panthers, which is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they have Jamal Williams at 63. And looking down here, Deontay Foreman for Cleveland is at number 77. And they have surprisingly they have Deuce Vaughn at number 80. And Trayvon Williams for Cincinnati at number 85. And they go down 1 to 85 here on this list here, but interesting names there. Kind of AJ Dillon, number 83. I think AJ Dillon is probably just a shell of what he used to be. I think this might be his last year, but I digress. But actually, those are basically our ESPN. Basically our fantasy rankings there.
Yeah, and what we also did was like to do a balance between PPR and no PPR leagues. So we tried to do an overall balance because some are going to benefit from the PPR things this year, like Breece Hall, like Alvin Kamara, like Jahmyr Gibbs and Tyjae Spears. So those are going to be the names that you're going to be looking at. So
that's basically our running backs list.
Yeah.
I tried to come up with a trivia question concerning running backs, but I just could not come up with one. I have to see if I can come up with one for wide receivers here.
Yeah, I didn't make one either this week.
Yeah.
Well.
I mean, so I think with that, I mean, I was supposed to be on last week, and we still have my slide up for my list of the quarterbacks. So I think why don't we take a brief detour, because I have takes when it comes to the quarterback position, which is I wanted to come on and make my takes more to be there in person to
All right.
illustrate my take. So this will be to fill the rest of the time here. I mean, Josh Allen clearly number one because of the running ability and him running for touchdowns. Jalen Hurts clearly number 2, Lamar number 3, Patrick Mahomes number 4. I think C.J. Stroud with the addition of Stephon Diggs, I think that puts him at number 5. Number 6 is Kyler Murray on this list. And I think this might have been the most interesting, but I love Kyler Murray this season. I think he's in for a monster season. I think he's gonna be in for 4,000 passing yards. Marvin Harrison Jr. is the Energizer Bunny that's gonna make this Cardinals offense go. I think the Cardinals are the NFL's deep sleeper team this season, which was what I declared last season for the Texans. Anthony Richardson, when he's healthy, he's a freakish athlete, and he's going to be a dynamic playmaker. And the fact that the Colts have Jonathan Taylor on their team is going to put a lot of attention on the running attack on him and on Taylor and not on Richardson. So the Richardson's going to have some big time carries. Dak, I like Dak at number 8. He was number 2 on my list for league MVP last year, but I think it's going to be a reflection of the Cowboys' regression at both the offensive line and the running back positions with the departures in free agency. Joe Burrow number 9, Brock Purdy 10. I like Rodgers at 11 with the talent around him. Jordan Love, same thing. Jordan Love could run too. He's at number 12. Herbert's at 13. I think Caleb Williams is. I think by the end of the year, I think going to be looking at Caleb Williams as one of the most sought after names, and he's going to be ranked higher on the weekly list on a weekly basis as he gets better throughout the season. Jaden Daniels, I think Jaden Daniels is gonna run his way to fantasy relevance as a strong backup quarterback option in fantasy. And then Stafford, Goff, and Tua Tagovailoa is at number 18, even though he led the league in passing yards last year, which is going to be interesting. And then Trevor Lawrence at number 19, Kirk Cousins, as big as he was, he's all the way down to number 20 on my quarterbacks list. So I just wanted to put that out there. And I think the name you want to watch is Kyler Murray. I think he's going to be in for a monster season this year.
All right. Well, yeah, we showed the list last week, but of course we allowed Flynn a little time to kind of explain his list with us. And of course, as some of y'all know, Flynn was over in Europe last week.
Yeah, I think it was 2 weeks ago that I came back.
2 weeks ago he came back, so visited England and Scotland.
Yeah, yes, I did. It was it was a lot. It was a lot of fun. It's that I was able to see so much history at some of the places I visited, like Westminster Abbey in London, where that's the place where all the coronations have taken place since 1066. So you have 1,000 years of British history there. St. Paul's Cathedral is amazing. The London Eye as well, and then in York, the York Minster Cathedral, and Edinburgh as well. So it was a blast on the other side of the pond. So that's why I wasn't able to be on for the AFC and NFC West division previews. So
yeah, but we are glad to have you back with us. We're glad you had a wonderful time there. So
yep.
Yeah, so we are getting closer and closer and closer. The tally, what's the countdown now? I can't do the I can't do the math in my head quickly
Yeah,
enough.
let me pull it up. Give me 1 second. Let me get back into here. Oh, here we go. It says now it's 41 days, 20 hours, 59 minutes, and 30 seconds. There's your countdown there. The time is
And
ticking.
time is
Yeah,
ticking until our draft night.
I made some slight changes earlier today. I realigned the division. All the teams that made the playoffs last season are going to be grouped together in one division, making it very interesting. It's going to be a real battle.
I mean, so then one division is playoffs and the other is no playoffs.
Basically, yes. I mean, 6 of us made the playoffs. I mean, the person who did the person who had the worst playoff performance was Adam. So Adam's in the group with all the guys that didn't make the playoffs. So this division
playoffs?
now consists of
talk about
us here.
Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs?
I'm surprised Flynn was quicker on the draw than I was.
Anyway,
Yeah, so
as you were
this division
saying,
the 3 of us, Lucas, Dino, and then who's the other person? Damn it! I forgot who the
Casey?
6th person was. Yeah, the three
Was it
of us.
Casey?
No, he's in the non-playoff group.
Okay.
Who am I missing? I know,
I
the 3 of
know
us.
David?
Dino, Lucas.
David.
And then, who's the other person who made the playoffs? Damn it! Who the hell am I forgetting? Hold on.
Do we have a league history there? I mean, can you look back on it?
Yeah, I'm going back here.
Yeah.
Let me see. Who was the other person?
Timmy.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Oh, never mind. I miscounted. It's 5. I got it. I just miscounted.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this division, our playoff division, the 3 of us here, plus Dino and Lucas. And then the other division, Adam, Andrew, Alex, Casey, and David.
So this is gonna be very interesting. I will say that.
It's gonna be the group of death, probably.
Yeah. That's what I want to make it interesting this time. The people who made the playoffs are gonna have to duke it out.
Oh my gosh! It's gonna be
The ones who didn't are getting a second chance.
like this is gonna be
Adam's
a
the lucky
nightmare.
one. He had the worst playoff performance, so he's in the group with the ones who didn't make it.
Gosh, this is gonna be a nightmare.
Oh yeah, well, the butthead talent is stacked with talent. Here we go.
It is going to be very, very interesting, I must say. But I mean, it doesn't.
I'm stuck facing Lucas in week 1.
Oh gosh.
Well,
It's who do I play week 1?
I
played Dino and then
let's see. Week 1 is currently myself and Lucas, and then it's David against Tim, Casey against Andrew, Adam against Alex, and you got Dino.
Sheesh. Oh,
Unless for some reason the schedule changes itself, that doesn't matter.
oh well, but however, we're all here to just do one thing, and just like the coach says, you know.
Hello? You play to win the game.
Well, that is probably the most interesting change I have ever heard of in this fantasy football I've played here. It's very, very interesting. Well,
why not?
Just
I stuck with last year's format. The person who won goes last, and then so on.
Right. Well, anyway, that of course will be when our league starts. Of course, we have our draft August 30th, which will be our official season premiere. So we got that to look forward to, and we got next week's show to look forward to because we're going to be taking a look at the wide receivers.
Yes, we are, and the wide receivers. That position is going to be loaded this year.
It's gonna be stacked. It's gonna be stacked. It's gonna be loaded. It's gonna be smothered and covered like Waffle House hash browns. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my gosh, yeah. It's all over the place. I mean, we're gonna be seeing where we're gonna put Justin Jefferson, where we're gonna put Jamar Chase, and Stephon Diggs, and Deebo Samuel, and now with depending on what's gonna happen with Brandon Ayuk now that he's on the trade block, Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp, Garrett Wilson.
CD Lamb,
Mike Evans. Yeah,
it's gonna be CD Lamb.
It's gonna be a Tyreek Hill too.
Yeah, the cheetah. Can't forget him. But
yeah, so
anyway, that's going to be our next show for next Friday night, which will be the 26th. And by this time next week, I think all training camps will be in full swing.
Yes, indeed.
We're not too far away. Like I said, like Natalie said, not too far away from the Hall of Fame game, the first official preseason game of the NFL. So it's getting closer, y'all. I don't know about y'all, but I'm getting excited with every passing day.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, that is going to do it for this edition of Fantasy Football Fever. Y'all be sure to check out Hooked on Sports with John Flynn. Check out his podcast. It's always great stuff. Always a great listen. I know you're going to find something. There's something for everybody there.
Yep, and one of my annual traditions is coming up really soon. That I'll be ranking the 8 divisions in the NFL based on their defenses. That is a special that I have done every year for the last 4 years, and we'll be doing it again really soon. So definitely be on the lookout for that.
Yes, be on the lookout for Hooked on Sports, and of course, be on the lookout for us as we reconvene 7 days from tonight, where we'll rank our wide receivers. So it has been a great show. Hope you enjoy it. For John Flynn, for John Natale, I am Tim McClellan. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great weekend and a great week. God bless you all. And as always, be a good sport. See ya.